Okay. For the next part of our train project, we're going to explore how to get an image onto the surface of an object that already has a material attached to it. And we're going to go through a few different ways um, just to give you the background, depending on situations you might run into in the future. So, to start with, we need to get some images, and we can either do this by Google searching for some images or using an AI to generate these. For one or two of those, we'll probably need an AI. I'm using Google's Gemini, but you're welcome to use whichever AI image generator that you like. So, oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Um, so, since we have a train car that will hold an animal, we can pretend like it's a circus train, and let's get a giraffe and an elephant. So, you could go to Google, for example, and search for cartoon giraffe. And it's really important we want the background to be white. So, let's type in with white background. And if we click on images, we have a bunch of different ones that we can pick from. So, if you see one of those you like, for example, let's say we'll do this one. It's a bit more cartoony. You can right click and save image as. And then you can see I've already saved some, but I'll go ahead and add this one to my collection and I'll go ahead and name it so that way I know what I'm dealing with. Okay. Then let's use an AI. And for example, I'm at Google's Gemini and I want to create an image. And this time let's do an elephant. Let's do a cartoon elephant with a white background. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, so I'm just going to go with the first one that it makes, but you can obviously tell it to change the prompt so it gives you different results. So I'll just download this image, and then here in a minute I will move that to my folder. Next, I'm going to ask the AI to make a cartoon cow. Now, one problem that we're going to run into, that white areas on your animal are going to be transparent and show what's behind it because of the process we're going to use. And on an animal that doesn't have a lot of white, we can live with that. But a cow is typically black and white, so we don't want most of the cow disappearing. So we need to do a different method. And to do that method, we need a solid color background. So we're just going to go with green, and we're going to be using the technique they use to do green screens in movies. So I want a cartoon cow with realistic proportions. And I put realistic proportions because when I was testing this, it always gave me like a cartoon cow walking around, and I wanted a bit more realistic. So cartoon cow with realistic proportions with a solid green background. And let's hope it gives us a decent result the first time. Okay, so we'll go with that. And we will just download that picture. And let's do one more. Let's do a graffiti design to put on the train car. So let's say make a graffiti. Did not spell that correctly. I don't spell graffiti a lot, only one T. Design of the word blender with a solid color, solid white background. Please do not use white in the actual design. Hopefully that will cut out much white if it will do what I tell it to. Let's see what we've got. All right, not too bad. It still has a little white, but I can live with that. So let's go ahead and download that. Now, There is another category of pictures that we could get into, pictures with the alpha background, which we're going to turn this into one. I'm going to show you how to do that. But for the things that I'm looking for that kind of work with our train activity, it was hard to find anything that had an alpha background. And I know you don't know what that is, but I just want you to know that there is another type of picture that you can search for, and we may get into that in a different lesson. So I'll stop this video and go ahead and move all of your pictures that you've downloaded into one location, preferably with all your other resources in your Blender folder, and then we'll go from there.